Hey everyone, it's Wicked Bunnies. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I kind of want to talk about something that has been on my mind ever since I started to join the Lolita fashion community, and it's basically talking about the dark sides of being in this community. So if you stumbled onto my video and you don't know anything about Lolita fashion, or you were planning on getting into Lolita fashion, let me give you a quick summary of what it is. And basically, Lolita fashion is a Japanese subculture that started in the 1990s. I'm actually wearing it in today's video, and it's a very marine princessy vibe I have going on today. Lolita fashion itself is actually inspired by Rococo and Victorian fashion, and it has a focus on modesty, elegance, and cuteness. However, despite the beauty and charm of the fashion, there has definitely been a lot of problems and drama within the community. So I'm going to just go over what I've personally noticed as being a member of the community myself, and just to give you newbies, if you are planning on wearing the fashion, just like a little bit of a heads up when you are getting into this style, as there can be some jerky people, unfortunately, who do like wearing this. But I mean, of course, this also like kind of happens with a lot of different fashion styles. I think just fashion in general is a bit cutthroat for whatever reason. But with Lolita, it's a bit odd because the whole style is to really just like look like yourself and be happy and confident in what you're wearing. And there's a lot of people who will tear you down if you don't look a certain way in this fashion, unfortunately. So this is just sort of like a heads up if you do want to join the fashion, but no way do I want to like scare anybody off with this video. So please keep that in mind when watching. So one of the main issues that I've seen personally in the Lolita community is the problem of gatekeeping. So one thing I've noticed when being in this subculture is that people tend to be really gatekeepy sometimes about where they buy stuff from. Like, I kid you not, it took me forever to figure out what the hell Taobao was and how I could even shop on it, because nobody was really giving me like a proper, clear explanation of how I can achieve it, you know? Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not the simplest way to explain how to use it, but I feel like some people intentionally don't say anything because they don't want people to join the fashion, which I think is kind of weird. Like, if anything, wouldn't you want more people to join the fashion? Because that's like more people you can bond with, you know? So I just don't really get that whole mentality, and I've seen it a bit in this community, unfortunately. Like, the few times that I ask somebody on social media, like, how do I use Taobao? They're just like, well, shop Taobao, or they're like, use a proxy. And I'm like, okay, but which proxy? Like, can you at least give me a name or something? Like, I don't know why people are so gatekeepy when it comes to stuff like this, because I'm like, it's a lot harder for people to get into this fashion if they don't know where the hell to buy the clothing for it. So I just don't understand why people don't share enough information sometimes when it comes to stuff like that. But because the information on finding where you can buy the clothes from is so difficult to find and just very time consuming, I feel like a lot of people are even turned off by trying it out altogether, just because it's like, well, no one's really telling me exactly how to get this, how to buy it, what I need to do, like when I get stuff shipped to the warehouse and then I have to ship it here, how much it'll cost, like etc. I just feel like a lot of people don't mention all of these things. And yes, I can hear people already saying, well, I don't need to say it all the time, like people can just figure it out themselves. But just be nice and help somebody, especially if they're starting out with a style. Like, if you see somebody in your comment section going, oh, well, I'm really having a hard time finding like a proxy service and I'm still not sure exactly what it does, just help them out a little bit. Like, trust me, they'll be really thankful for it, because it's like very hard to find some information sometimes when you're first starting out in the fashion. It takes a lot of research. So I mean, if you could save them all of that time and just give a simple reply of proxy, it usually costs me like this much, I feel like a lot more people would just be interested in the fashion and actually like stick with it, you know? I'm really considering making a tutorial of how to shop/use Taobao, so please let me know in the comments below if that would be something that would interest you or help you out, as that would definitely give me more motivation to make something like that, as it does take some explaining to do. But I mean, it's not rocket science at the end of the day. You just need the information and you're like, okay, I can do this myself. Yes. So another thing I wanted to talk about was also the elitism that is in this style. Holy crap. There is so many people that are like the biggest brand whores you will ever see in your life that are into this fashion. And if you don't know what a brand whore is, it's basically somebody who shames other Lolitas if they don't wear like big branded pieces that come from all the big Japanese Lolita brands. So yeah, that's what that is. But like sometimes I wonder if half the Lolita community is like a bunch of super rich people, because there'll be like a new person saying like, oh, I can't really afford a dress that's $50, and you'll see some like brand elitist typing $50. Are you insane? That's like literally cheap. Shut your mouth. Like, don't assume something is cheap. Nobody knows like each other's like financial situations, right? Like, how are you gonna insult, especially if it's like usually it's a 14-year-old saying like they don't have the money because they don't have like a job or anything like that, but like how are you gonna go and insult someone because they don't want to spend like $50 on a dress that they may or may not like or use a lot, you know? It's just something that I've seen a lot, and it's honestly just disappointing because it's like, why do you have to act like this? And God forbid you wear a freaking bodyline or a Taobao piece in front of a brand elitist, they'll like freaking go batshit crazy on you and be like, oh, you're not a true Lolita. You did not spend $500 on a singular dress, so get out of here. You're not even a Lolita. It's just so annoying because I'm like, there's so many beautiful bodyline pieces, and even Taobao. The outfit I'm wearing today is actually pretty much all from Taobao, and look how pretty it is. I mean, how are you gonna say that Taobao is lesser? Like, huh? But I think that's why newcomers to the fashion kind of get turned off easily when they see other Lolitas who are like elitist like that saying, oh, you can't spend $50 on a dress. Wow. Like, I think it's just terrible that some people in the community will say stuff like that to people who are just starting out in the fashion, because $50 also, that is not a little amount of money, even with inflation rising. There's also another sector of elitists in the community, and those are the people that are so insane about rules. So I can understand having some rules for the fashion because obviously you want to have it in the same silhouette so it counts as Lolita. So a lot of people usually talk about like how you have to have like a petticoat or a blouse underneath your JSK. But also, you don't always need a blouse or a petticoat. Like, you can style Lolita without having it. It just depends on how you're styling it and working it, you know? So I mean, obviously, if you're a newbie, I wouldn't recommend like not having a petticoat or a blouse underneath your dress. But I mean, if you're somebody who's been in the community for like 2-3 years and you know how to style shit, like, and if you want to do something that is different, people will go batshit crazy on you and think you're committing some sort of like cardinal sin because you're not wearing a blouse or a JSK. Like, I bet there's some people freaking dry heaving at the fact that I'm not wearing a blouse, which for that, I'm just like, like, what I'm wearing is Lolita. I have a petticoat on, it matches the silhouette. Shut up with the no blouse things, because oh my god, let's talk about that. So I think the no blouse thing has really had like a divide on the community, and there's a side that's like, okay, yeah, fuck the no blouse thing, let's just do whatever the hell we want. And then there's some people that are like, you're doing no blouses, that's a sin and a crime and you need to be locked up in jail right away. But I mean, basically the reason that we wear blouses is so that it doesn't show our shoulders and it's more modest. But can we all agree we're in 2023 and is this sexual? My collarbone, my shoulders, is this really sexual? Like, come on. I know we love to fantasize the Victorian and Rococo type shit, but like, do we really have to cover up all that? Come on, it's 2023. Let's not be that conservative about it, alright? Like, if somebody is using something that is non-Lolita too, like say demonia boots, I'm not really a fan of demonia boots in cords usually, but if they can work it in there and make it look good, then it looks cool, okay? Like, why are you gonna start screaming about, oh my god, this is not Lolita, like, don't pair this. As long as it looks good and it still has a Lolita silhouette, who cares? It's just fashion at the end of the day. But so with all the people that are super strict on rules, it kind of leads to a lot of exclusion and bullying when it comes to people who are newbies in the fashion, because they'll post their cords online and then they'll get freaking flamed. Oh, you're not having a blouse, you're not having a petticoat, your socks don't match your JSK perfectly. Like, just shh. I have to say that sometimes, just shh. Like, people who are first starting out are not going to know all of the rules behind the fashion, you know? So just, if you're going to tell it to them, give some constructive criticism that is in a nice tone. Because I feel like people just rip people to shreds who are just starting the fashion, and that just makes people not want to go and continue with this fashion ever again and feel so bad and just feel completely shamed, and it's terrible. I hate when I see new people getting shamed because they're not courting right when they're literally just starting out. Like, give them a break. Give them a chance, please. I'm begging. Or like I said before, other people want to have different interpretations on the fashion, and I think it's cool if you have people who can actually experiment and mix non-Lolita pieces, or like break some rules, as crazy as that sounds, and do something completely different with it still being like Lolita, you know? I've actually seen a lot of cool rule breakers on Lolita Reddit before, and I can show some pictures right here of them, because these are some awesome chords, okay? And they need some recognition, because like, this is awesome. The drama within the community has also led to instances of cyberbullying and harassment. Two sites that are notorious in the community are Lolita 4chan and Behind the Bows, which, if you don't know either of these sites, that is a good thing. Don't search them up. To give a quick summary, both places are used to hate on other Lolitas or baby Lolitas, and it's extremely toxic, so please don't search this up if you are watching. It's horrible because they're not just insulting the outfits people are wearing, but they go further onto fat shaming, being racist, or being transphobic, homophobic. All of the above has happened on those two sites. But at the end of the day, it's good to remember that the people that go on those sites are just insecure little assholes who like projecting their insecurities onto other people. So really, just stay away from it, and I think you should be fine. Unless you want to see a whole spew of trash, then go right ahead and go over there. Some members of Lolita fashion have been attacked online in general for their personal choices in fashion or for not conforming to the community's standards. This has caused a lot of emotional distress and anxiety for many members, especially those who are just starting out in the fashion. I myself have had a lot of people in my TikTok comments telling me how they really love the fashion, but are scared due to them seeing other toxic Lolitas insult new people and their chords and just them in general. I want to mention this too so people don't scream at me in the comments, but I understand that constructive criticism is needed sometimes when it comes to the fashion. Especially when it comes to newer people in the fashion, because they're still learning everything. But it's also annoying when you've been in the fashion for years and people straight up comment down below on your Instagram, TikTok, wherever the hell, and they're just like, oh, you could have changed out the socks and done something else. But did I ask for your opinion? Like, unless I wrote concrete is welcomed, don't comment that under my post. Keep it inside your skull and mind. Like, that type of behavior, in my opinion, is just obnoxious and unnecessary. It's just, wow. Are you just like a control freak or something? Like, let people wear what the hell they want to wear. Especially if it's somebody who literally has been in the style forever. Just let them do what they want to do, okay? Like, chill. Unless they ask for the concrete, don't give it to them, because, why? The whole thing about this toxicity in Lolita fashion is just crazy. Like, I feel like I keep repeating the same thing over and over again, but there's a lot more people than you think that like this fashion but won't join because they're afraid of wearing clothes. Clothes, people. Like, at the end of the day, can we please just remember that this is just a fashion style? Some Lolitas are just too intense when it comes to all the rules, and it really makes the fashion feel like it's some sort of like religion. And do we really want an organized religion based off of fashion? I don't think so. You have to practice and follow the word of God, or else you're a sinner and you will be bashed endlessly for your socks not being the right shade of purple. Even with all the negativity, there are also many members of the Lolita community who strive to promote positivity, inclusivity, and love. They understand that Lolita fashion is about self-expression, creativity, and going against toxic societal norms. And that everyone should feel welcome and accepted regardless of race, gender identity, or sexuality. I have to say, the younger people that are joining the fashion are really helping with fighting off the toxicity that people usually associate Lolita fashion with. It's odd because a lot of them use TikTok and Instagram, and TikTok in particular is like pretty toxic, but the younger Lolitas on there in general seem very helpful when it comes to helping newcomers in the fashion. At the end of the day, the Lolita community is full of diverse individuals who share a love for a unique and beautiful fashion. While there may be problems and drama within the community, I don't want to discourage anyone from trying out the fashion or joining the community as a whole. There are great parts about the fashion, like going to your local meetup in your city, or just feeling beautiful and confident in beautifully made clothing. It's important to remember that we can all work together to create a more positive and welcoming space for everyone, and that at the end of the day, kindness really does go a long way. So I say let's embrace the spirit of love and acceptance and spread the beauty of Lolita fashion to everyone. If you're still watching this video, thank you for sticking around so long, as I really appreciate it. I would love to hear your opinions on this subject in the comments below and what you think we should do in general to just help bring more positivity into this community. I hope you enjoyed listening to my rant/discussion. It's just something that's been on my mind, and I really feel like I needed to get that off my chest because wow, it's just so many things that I put up in my brain for so long, and I just feel like it needed to be talked about. But if you've stuck around for this long, let me personally give ya a heart, and heart to you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Ta-ta! Mwah!